Stewart, great to see you. And let's start this conversation by congratulating you, first of all, for not one but two wins at Frontier Awards last night. Great result.
Peter, thank you. Good, always good to see you. And thank you. Yes, no, it's great for the team. Great, reflection of the hard work that the team has been putting in, and the positive response that we were getting from our consumers and our customers. So, yeah, super happy, super proud.
2 years in a row for Supplier of the Year is a rare thing for Frontier. That's a great result. Really good result.
Yeah.
Okay,
thank you.
Let's carry on. Since we last spoke, you've had a very, very active year. Nestlé International Travel Retail's ambition remains to build food into the #1 category in travel retail. But just how doable is that? Just how catchable is beauty?
Well, if you look at the research that we had in this year, we've closed the gap significantly. Now, let's be clear about this. We all understand that the outbound Chinese are lower than they were pre-pandemic, and they're coming out more slowly. And they will give a boost to the beauty category, and that will be great for all my cousins who work over in L'Oreal and in the other beauty businesses. At the same time, regardless of how that performance of beauty goes, we're climbing. We're moving forward. We're excited about it. And I think what really excites us is customers are buying into the strategy. They're seeing the opportunities that are coming through. And it starts to appear in the results. So, yeah, excited.
Well, there's clearly some dynamic going on in the business at the moment because food has jumped from 30 to 35% in the first half of 2023.
You've been seeing our presentation. Well done. Good.
But what do you put that down to?
Combination of factors. There's no one thing. When you look at, we always talked about last year that confectionery is the beating heart of food, and confectionery continues to grow. So penetration in confectionery continues to grow. What's growing faster, even faster, is penetration of non-confectionery. So everything else, teas, the coffees, the biscuits, the getting into the world, even of vitamins, minerals, herbal supplements. The whole panoply of local food, which we understand is absolutely key. So we're super excited about the ensemble of what's going on. It's a concerto effort.
But I guess the crunch question is, are retailers actually buying into your belief that food can reach 50% of the basket size by 2030 and that your target is actually achievable? I mean, what's in it for them when their margin requirements are what they are and often served better by other categories? I mean, you're inviting them to radically change their mindset and their approach.
I think we're offering an opportunity, and the opportunity is to actually make more money. We would never propose that someone's going to buy a food category product at the expense of their L'Oreal skin cream, their Johnnie Walker, their Marlboro 200s. Everything is incremental and in addition to. If you go back to the roots of the strategy that we first started to share in 2021, where this was all hooked into was confectionery over-indexes in this industry. It's not that we want to sell less confectionery, everything else is under-indexing. If we can bring everything else up to the performance levels that confectionery, then we grow the pie. And then
doable.
Everybody wins. So for us, it's really a recognition of that. We acknowledge that food will always be higher volume. The value per kilo is not necessarily going to be high as you're going to get from the skin creams or the alcohols and so on. But it's incremental value that's being generated. So we see the opportunity in the glass half full.
Just moving on, what we are effectively bearing witness to right now is that Nestlé seems to be undergoing a morphing, a meaningful transformation from a traditional confectionery company to a much wider food business as a whole, with coffee, health and wellness spearheading the charge. Now, I know that confectionery remains at the beating heart of the business, but in the wider context, what percentage do you think that coffee and health and wellness products can represent within your total travel retail business?
It's a really good question, and the answer is I don't know. But But what I do know is it's going to be higher than what it is now, and not at the expense of, but in addition to. And I think that's the critical bit. We will learn by trial and error. We will learn by test and learn, and we'll explore what's right. And the great thing about our industry is we're global, but the consumers, are from all over. What's going to be right in Changi may not be right in Heathrow. What's going to be appropriate for Sao Paulo and Dubai may be completely different. Same for Beijing or Toronto. So I think that understanding of, what's the appropriate solution in the appropriate environment is going to be key to that. And there we work with our retail partners in terms of understanding those passenger flows, the trends, and bringing the right solutions to life.
So let's move on and look at the products. What's in store now from the coffee side of the business? I have to say that I think the roastery collection is absolutely superb.
Thank you. The big innovation that we're bringing to the party this year is Nescafe Farmers Origins. This very much plays to the consumer's desire to really understand where the product is coming from. It's a fantastic QR code on the tins to allow you to understand exactly which farms the cocoa beans are being sourced from.
There's traceability all the way through?
Yes. Yeah, and we've been doing a huge amount of work in this area in coffee, as we do in cocoa for the chocolate. So it's a proof point that really gives consumers confidence in what's going on, and tells stories about the brands, which is what people want to do. And to be honest, Peter, these are things we've been doing for many, many, many decades. We're just now using technology to bring it to life.
Moving on to another area where you've signalled serious interest and you've got product in the market is health and wellness.
Yes.
This is an interesting and very fast developing category in its own right in real terms. But there are different challenges, aren't there, for this product category? I mean, what are you facing?
Well, we see them as opportunities.
Okay.
We're just getting our toes in the water on this one. So we first presented last year. We were very excited by the response we got from one retailer in particular. So we'd gone live on a trial in 2 airports. And we're taking learnings because we're seeking to understand what the differences are in terms of where passengers are and the passenger mix. Because the range of benefits vary quite dramatically. Stress, sleep, immune system, and even beauty sort of starts to feed into it. So I think we start to see, subject to location, if you're going on a long haul flight out of a long haul terminal, then maybe the sales of the sleep type products are higher. Those that are looking for maybe an energy boost, maybe that's more to do with the short haul flights. And we're taking learnings as we go, but we're very excited, we're very grateful for the partner that we're working with, and looking forward to seeing what it brings coming forward.
The thing is, it's a bit of a no-brainer because, these type of products, and you have some serious brands in the marketplace, the domestic marketplace, can easily move into travel retail.
Yeah, and absolutely, that's very much what we're working to achieve. We have colleagues in the very specific division, Nestlé Health Science, which Nestlé has invested heavily in over the last 7-8 years, bringing a fantastic portfolio together. And we work very closely with our colleagues there to make sure that we can then start to target those specific needs to those occasions when the consumer is travelling.
But all this brings us back to Verse. The business
Yes.
model that you said you introduced 2 years ago to the global travel retail industry. How have each of the elements developed over the last year?
Very good question. Okay, so let's take each one in turn. Value. Value, we're always looking to generate something which is a point of difference versus domestic. This industry demands differentiation and also personalization. So we're looking to play these tunes, and it's there in some of the products that we're in particular launching this year. On KitKat, our #1 brand, we've got those particular elements being brought to life. On engagement, you're really looking all the way along the spectrum. We've been working with one of our business partners, come together, putting together really great digital programs to engage consumers pre, during, and post, and allowing consumers to share. Taking some great learnings, got some great engagement with some of the activities we did on KitKat last year, and we're bringing it to life and amplifying it with traditional media as well, via JC&Co in one or two of the big hub airports. And we're looking to do more of that in the year to come. Seeing good results, liking what we're getting. And the consumers, particularly with the growth, as we all know, of the not just the millennials, but also the Gen Zs in particular, it's critical. Not my generation, but we need to talk to them in the way that's appropriate for theirs,
yes,
and
exactly.
we are. The R regeneration, we're super excited about the launch we're making this year. Excited, proud as well, I would say. For almost 15 years, Nestle's been doing great work on the ground in the Ivory Coast, Ghana, and some of the other cocoa growing regions. And this year we bring it to life with the Nestle sustainably sourced cocoa product under our biggest, most valuable brand, Nestle. We're bringing
It was Nestle Swiss in a previous life, wasn't it?
We're transitioning from Swiss. Swiss was a great success for many years. With the transition and the needs of consumers shifting and really wanting to understand the sustainability stories, where the roots of the cocoa is coming from, and we're doing all that work behind the scenes, we're now proudly bringing it to the fore. Very excited about the work the team has been doing. Macarena, who's been leading the project for the last couple of years, been doing a fantastic job. Great response.
Standout pack design. Standout.
We've had great response this week. We hope and trust that it translates into sales for the consumers. We can talk about that next year when we're sitting here this time next year. So that's where we're at in regeneration, as Nestle talks about, the sustainability. Beyond that, however, this is building upon all the work we've been doing over the last few years. We already transitioned Smarties into plastic-free.
Yes.
We've done that. We're moving into paper packaging on Quality Street, both the wraps and the outer. Kit Kat this year, we're making the sharing bags and the snacking bags into paper. So we're on a very positive trajectory with the work that we're doing in the whole space of, as we talk, regeneration. And what's important for us, and I do want to re-emphasize it, it's this whole thought. It's going beyond sustainability. It's about protect, renew, and restore the environment is what Nestle's seeking to do. And there's a huge amount of work being done by an awful lot of people through the organization. Genuinely really proud of what we're doing. Regeneration, we come on to sense of place. What we're launching this year, again, on our number one brand, Kit Kat, we're bringing sense of place to life with destination packs. And all the retailers know this. This is nothing rocket science. This works. Consumers want it. We're meeting a simple consumer need very well. So we kind of work our way around the first four letters of verse, then we get to execution. One of the things we will be bringing to the party in the coming 12 months will be an update to Perfect Store. Perfect Store, for those who were in the industry 10, 15 years ago, was how we would best believe this would be executed. As the execution end of the Verse model, we will do a Perfect Store 2.0. That's to come. So excited to be talking about that maybe next year, because
Sure.
we can do all of the things across value, across engagement, regeneration, and sense of place. But if you don't execute it well, you're never going to get the same uplift. And really, again, working with our retail partners and helping them with the solutions and the tools that allow us to connect with our consumers is critical.
Well, we'll go back to regeneration separately, but staying on Verse for the moment, you've actually recently engaged Portland Design to help you reimagining, your reimagining of the food category, essentially converting Verse into a retail reality by creating a theme around the Emporium of Goodness. Great title. And this is defined as being the antidote to consumer apathy. Tell us more.
We're having a lot of fun with this project, let's say, to start with. Always great to work with Ibrahim and Lewis and the whole team there. We're not retailers. We're not retail experts. We never claim to be. What we do want to do is provoke, stimulate, engage, bring thinking to our retail partners and give them options. We're not providing a solution. We're providing thinking and stimulation with this whole Emporium of Goodness. And the phrase that Lewis's phrase of choice, the antidote to apathy, I think is a beautiful way of saying that, we have to always guard against this. We have no God-given right to have the consumers and shoppers walk into the stores when they're going through the airports. We've got to entice them and engage them. So doing that in the right way is what we're thinking about. But it's really connected back into this ambition about food, number one, and rethinking, reimagining food and how we bring food to life. And taking some radical steps. The first thing we talk about is, the first thing should be in flow is the local product. Now, it's not always going to be Nestle, far from it. But in terms of playing to the agenda of the airports and the whole sustainability story that airports and retailers want to bring to life, there's nothing more sustainable than buying something which is local. So bring it, and then for the consumers, taking something local back, whether it's your dates in Dubai or your olive oil from Italy or your maple syrup from Canada, bringing back something local is key. But then allowing people to engage in the other things beyond the treats, and the sweet treats always work for a reason. But how we play the elements, the tunes, and the instruments within the orchestra available to us, this becomes the important part. So working with the team at Portland, we're looking at, we're bringing some thinking to life to stimulate discussion and hopefully, again, go beyond just the bit of paper and give some visual stimulation and some excitement.
That's something to look forward to, and I've partnered with Portland Design before. They're very good people, and
Yes.
Something the industry can look forward to, for sure. One last question, Stewart, and I'll ask this of everybody. There are three things that you wanted to say to the global travel retail industry here and now. What would they be?
Always a provoking question. I'll give you one. Look at food as an opportunity, an incremental opportunity. It's never going to be at the expense of, it's always going to be in addition to. And I think there's a world of opportunity. We're just scratching the surface. Very excited about what's to come.
And we look forward to covering it with you. So thank you for your time as ever.
Peter, thank you very much.